You mean for T1 now?
For T1.
VP an additional counter pick.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see what you're saying with like stealing away the jug. I agree. It could look very scary on VP. I think most likely we're going to see them pick their 5 position here.
Okay. Yeah, that makes the most sense just because the Viper is currently your mid to off lane flex, and you see the support Joe, so you know exactly what type of support you're going to be laning into, and that's why you're a nice fight here. Again, a bit more fight so far. If you look at the supports that have been coming out from Zephyr or Whitemon, sorry, they're a little bit more kind of
pick.
Wow. Okay, I would say they haven't really gone for these bigger team fights.
Admiral Conquer.
Like T1, their supports, as I looked at it, it's like they don't have overwhelming team fight presence. Like they do in regards like Phoenix, but it's not like the instant stun. It's more like they're relying on teammates to be the stun for their team fight. But now they go for a Warlock.
10 seconds to go.
The instant fall. Bro, I like Juggernaut even. Oh, they go for the lifesteal. Okay, we'll still spell
same concept there.
Yeah.
So this Kunkka pick, why it's so instant, is because Warlock as a hero does not provide any
Radiance
presence.
ban.
You can Fatal Bonds the wave to try and do some damage. Does around about 200 to 300 to if it's double hero plus the entire creep wave, but it's not as if it's going to independently push the Kunkka out. And then there's Kunkka. You want to have a way to mitigate the effects of Fatal Bonds. You get that run buff. You're going to be pretty sturdy.
10 seconds to
I
go.
like how you say, well, the reason that the Kunkka was instant was because they picked Warlock. Bro, they didn't care who they picked on T1.
I mean, the main point is like, because they picked it so quickly, it's like, the team was like, if they pick this or this, we don't pick it. But they, just go for it, you know? Like, they're confident in it.
Yeah, they like, I mean, team fight superiority seems to be the way that T1 may be able to get back into the game, but VP are saying, no. We're going to one-up you on that. We got Static Storm, we got Ghost Ship, and probably going to get a tidal wave soon, because that seems to be DM's go-to build. It's getting the shard.
Oh, good.
They do have a lot of spells to just move heroes around with the Glimpse and the tidal wave. And that in and of itself is a way to protect the Lina. I think it's a pretty good pick because VP, they needed something to sort of start the fights casually, which Kunkka does, and they needed something to frontline, which Kunkka also does.
He also buys Pipe on the hero quite a lot, which helps with the early damage of the Warlock and the Viper. And yeah, I like it when VP pick with confidence because you know, like, they already have their game plan.
Yeah, and their game plan has been bringing them success in these last 2 games of this series. Now T1
Radiant
figured out what they're going to do with the Viper. Last time they ended up giving it to Cuckoo in the off lane. I don't necessarily think it was like a mid lane matchup kind of thing that forced the Viper into one lane or another.
Because VP has the last pick in the draft, I'd love to see them, if T1 don't pick a good like wave clearing style hero, go for like a Fury and carry. Just try and get yourself quickly into the game, play off the strength of Lina and Kunkka, because their lanes will be good.
Radiant's
and
pick.
Just get into the towers.
Axe.
Okay, they go for an axe.
You know, they banned out the Ursa, worried about a lane counter, so they pick up a melee offlaner. And unlike all the other axes that we've seen, this one's pretty much confirmed to be off lane.
Yeah, no, it is very much. This is going to be mid Viper, and then the next axe off lane duo.
10 seconds to go.
I like this idea from T1. I think last game they had had a couple games where they picked these 2 range heroes in their 2 position and 3 position, and I like this more. The challenge of the Lina mid with Viper, you're saying, oh, you're going to counter me, but I think Carl should be pretty confident that he can outplay Lina in the lane.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Viper just opt to go more towards jungle. Don't try and poison attack this Lina. Just push the lane out, go jungle, play for your efficiencies, because of course, dire side, you do have the camps a little bit closer. You can do some like aggro plays and make some interesting stuff there. My concern for T1 is just in the 15-minute mark when VP often applies their dominance, they don't really have a lot of damage outside of Golem plus Viper. The rest are all kind of waiting for some items to come into play, and that's where VP, if they take a little bit longer to think about this carry pick and they go for a more active style of carry, they can rip through T1's 15 to 25-minute mark where they're trying to quickly farm out their items to have a very confident late game.
Luna is still available for Nightfall if they're interested in that.
Take your pick.
Oi! Is this the Abaddon carry? All right.
I would guess so, but there's only one way to find out. Let's see what the lane situation is.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Hold up. Look at it.
Hey, Nightfall Abaddon. Carry Abaddon.
It's pretty cool. Removes the Fatal Bombs.
So VP, they pick Abaddon when they see their opponents have greed in their draft and they want to get out of the game. You know, Lina plus Abaddon. If both these heroes lock onto a target, there's going to be an immense amount of right clicks coming through. I like the creativity here from VP.
Yeah, and I think they're really making GPK into the hyper carry that we've seen his Lina can be. The last game he had like a Desolator, he was just hitting everyone. Abaddon he's pretty immortal this game, I gotta say. There is the break, but there's no silence to pair with it. So he'll always be able to get that ultimate off. And that song goes for Orchid. Doesn't look really good on these heroes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what type of game the Axe can have, because of now you don't really want to jump the carry, right? The Axe is going to be, what's he going to be looking for? He's going to be going for maybe the Kunkka or the Lina. Realistically, he has to kill Lina at the start of every fight if T1 want to play with confidence. But once again, VP, they are playing for the strong lanes into 20-minute overwhelm T1. T1 haven't really adjusted their playstyle throughout the series. They've hard committed to survival and then turning the game back around. So they're going to have to really make sure they pick the correct fights, otherwise this game can get out of hand quite quickly.
And I'm glad we've picked the correct casters for this game number 4. It's Sunsfan and Lacoste.
That's right. Now that he's coming back somehow. I don't know how he keeps getting past security, but
You fought badly! Die work! Everybody get set.
Stealing and Aspect as always.
You're a trusty mate.
Tell me about this.
You did your best. You did your best.
Feel the rain. And we're back.
It's very uncommon. I want to see what the build is going to be. Maybe Midas into Radiance, maybe like phase boots, casual gloves into Radiance. On the other side, you have Nyx Assassins. So Radiance is never going to feel that great, but I don't think you can afford to go for different kind of item build on a carry ABBA, because this is your strength. And you also, as a Radiance carry, you don't care too much about the carapace because you have ulti to just.
You're a trusty mate.
You can't be bursted down, so maybe that's like one of the strengths, especially against the Nyx Assassin. We'll see. This time around, we have Lina, Enchantress plus a Disruptor, very burstable heroes if you get on
30
top of them.
seconds to
So
go.
they need to
I
focus on the
love
lane
winning.
stage. On the other side, a lot of overtime damage coming out from either Battle Hunger, Annoyance from Nyx Assassin in the mid-game fights, Fatal Bonds, Viper, a lot of different stuff, and they don't have any abilities that goes through Magic Community, so I'm a bit worried what 23 Savage can do in this game to VP's lineup. I've seen him play with Lifestealer so many times. He's extremely good at saving people. You know that there's going to be like Kunkka uses a combo or Lina stun. He'll jump in to get him that extra HP that it's necessary to survive.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if I was just going based off of lineup alone, T1's lineup looks very strong.
No
and
more
part
bets,
of,
please.
Part of it is just the unknown factor of this Abaddon for Nightfall. And I'm not saying he's going to build this Lacoste. Okay, I know this is stupid because Jenkins makes fun of me all the time.
I'm listening. Like, give me a new build.
But we have been seeing a lot of Echo Sabers on these position 1s, and Echo Saber on this hero with Manta is actually pretty dirty because he gets silenced like instantly.
And then you hit him one more time. That's 3 out of 4. Then comes the 4th.
With Manta. You Manta, then do it. It's instant. All right?
It's not bad.
I'm telling you. But Radiance does feel a lot better. But like you said, it is against the Nyx Assassin, which makes this a bit awkward. So we'll see, because you can get that Spike Carapace off any time you're in the vicinity of him. But then again, he can just pop his ult at any point as well. Yeah, really looking, as you can tell, I'm extremely excited about this game.
Yeah, I need you to calm down, sir.
Okay. Let me just reset. GPK is going to be mid lane versus Carl.
There we
got
go.
the Lina Viper lane, which we've seen a few times before. Who do you like in this lane, man?
Something
It's
bad
always
happened to
Viper.
the
No matter
Radiance
who I
carry.
see, it's always going to be Viper.
Really?
Pretty much,
Alright.
because Viper, he's still saving a point. Carl deciding whether he needs to put another in the poison attack or if he wants to go for corrosive skin. Those right clicks from Lina are very annoying. So just 1 point in corrosive skin is enough. That a bit of a attack slow and also overtime damage is really nice. But so far 2 in poison attack. But on the bottom lane, they decided to switch things up a bit. It's gonna be Warlock playing position 5, Whitemon on the hero. With Axe, they just want to secure Axe's farm, I would say, where you give him that regeneration. And you know that the Lifestealer is playing into melee matchup, but I don't think Lifestealer is going to be able to sustain throughout this whole harassment coming on from the Enchantress. Big camp is still not blocked.
Yeah, you might have some trouble on the Lifestealer, but the fact that Wyvern is finally gone, their backup apparently is the Warlock, which used to be the meta hero, then kind of dropped off a cliff. The Shard got some tweaks, used to be very powerful. So interesting to see what they do here. Is Cuckoo getting gone on inside the kinetic field. One more proc for that violence. There you go. Imagine what it would have been like with an Echo Saber, Mr. Lacoste.
Yeah, it would be pretty OP if one hero had Echo Saber
2.5
minutes
minutes?
in.
Yeah.
It would be really hard.
IceFrog,
lane into
think
him.
about it.
Echo Saber from Quelling Blade, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength, and the recipe 150 gold.
Yeah, I like it. Very nice. Also works on range heroes as well. We can add that in at some point.
Do you think it would be too OP if it works on the range heroes?
Probably. I mean, think of Weaver. You get triple attack, basically, whenever you want, which he basically can get, but only at level 25. So another hero that we just don't see right now. But yeah, always excited to see these heroes that are, like, I would consider them not super meta, at least not in this position, right?
Yes.
And the funny thing is, you could have, I mean, obviously they want to wait for later in the draft. As you can see an LSA connect here. You could have picked Abaddon first, and you could have just faked them out. But it was the last pick Abby, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It was. It was something that's not usually seen. They got surprised. Last pick Abba. What you're gonna do? I don't think they... Like, they could potentially kill Abba with level 20 Axe. He's burstable. 150 Calling Blade Threshold, so you can dunk him. But it needs to be like perfect scenario.
You say Abaddon, right?
Abba,
but you say
Abaddon.
Because Abaddon, right?
In Dota 1 days, I believe he was called Abaddon.
No, it's the opposite.
It was the opposite?
Yeah.
Okay, I got confused.
The correct pronunciation is Abaddon. I've had this conversation with so many people before, but I just hate it. Zephyr getting pressured by the Centaur. Oh, save, okay. Gonna get the Impale off. You can see that Tidebringer doing pretty decent damage for DM. Very excited to see him play that as well. Something we have yet to mention. But Cuckoo getting chased. Curse of the Furnace. Extra attack speed now.
Tower.
A couple of magic sticks.
Charges.
Radiant's
Looks like he will
mid tower
dive.
could use a hand.
No, he will not. Yeah, the Aphotic Shield was actually on Kingslayer, so didn't end up getting that proc off, sadly, for VP fans out there. Yeah, we have a lot of cool storylines, though. I mean, the fact that DM is playing Conquer, which that first game that we saw is, I mean, that's a game for the ages, honestly. One of the coolest. If you guys haven't seen that game, go check out the VOD. As you can see, Cuckoo, again, getting pressured here. Aphotic Shield this time onto Nightfall, so this should surely be first blood. VP.
Third time's the charm. They try to go 3 times on him, and finally they manage to bring him down. Nightfall will get the last hit. They need some kind of regeneration at the bottom. Couriers were being used, so they have none left. So someone needs to go back. Couriers at this point, level 3, level 4, are extremely slow.
Yeah.
I think this scenario here should be like either one you TP back with one of the heroes, or Kingslayer just dies and comes back with a free TP healing cell back to the lane. Because right now he's sitting at 300 HP, no mana. We managed to miss a kill. I missed the kill. I was looking at my own PC.
Okay, Zephyr died on his patented Nyx Assassin.
There we go.
Yep, gets X marks back and ends up being a pretty easy one. A 2-0 advantage for VP, but they are behind in net worth. I know it's very early on, but you can look at the net worth of the 2 cores and the Viper and the Lifestealer. They're not doing too shabby overall, but not the hugest lead.
I think the reason why Nightfall decided to TP back is because he got that first blood and also has the full phase boots. So coming back to the lane is a bit more speedy than what we usually see 4 or 5 minutes in.
Yeah, again, pressuring the Axe, and this is a lot of damage. Like you said, the phase boost makes such a big difference, and now the Aphotic Shield applied, so we're gonna get glimpse back, in fact, and we'll see if
Straight to the bottom where hero
dies.
It's fine. Okay, regeneration. Saving removed both Battle Hunger and Fatal Bonds. I think it's fine to let him die there.
Yeah, but the fact that this mid lane, I mean, GPK netting himself a kill, that is a pretty big story.
That's actually huge. Now he's the level 7, has that regeneration rune running. Something that was very popular during the major is blocking the small camp, so you cannot farm it. It was not done in this game. So Lina, she's very good at singles for Viper, either stacking the small camp after pushing the wave. And now GPK is in the triangle, already farming the big stack.
And you can see Lifestealer trying to farm with that siege creep. It's going to be a little difficult for him, but he's getting tipped right now. Yeah, not a whole lot of damage deal, but he's still doing pretty well in terms of the CS, but he might have to be careful here. They know that Infest is down. Torrent will connect to start things out here with the Hadouken from the Satyr. We'll have to rage into the runaway, but they are chasing after him, actually.
He's dead.
One top tower's getting beat down.
A ton of damage. And though you also have save, regeneration, pretty much coming out from the aura. Nyx Assassin, not the strongest laner, doesn't provide you with much early on, so no surprise that they are not doing too hot on the top lane. DM, whenever he plays Conka and there's no Invoker in his team, he tends to get an Urn. It's Urn stick into Hood, upgraded into Pipe, because there is so much magic.
Dire's mid tower needs a little help.
How much they're pressuring Clangers Savage. He's farming pretty well, though.
He's farming okay on mid
surprising.
tower, pretty much the same amount of farm as Kunkka, but he is killable. He uses the rage, which is 18-second cooldown, only 3-second duration. Another time, they go for this mid tower. 7 minutes in.
Hope the Dire
They
weren't
will
partial
get
to
the
that
tower.
mid
This is pretty big. It
tower.
opens up the map, and it also allows Lina to potentially rotate to the top lane. One Torrent into LSA should guarantee a kill on a lifestealer.
Yeah, I think it was basically, it was the last game or the game before where it was a minute and a half earlier than this, but still very early for this tier 1 tower. We're going to see
Wounded to my heart.
will
They
get
really
first
showed
kill.
the Bambi, who the boss is.
Yeah, I mean, Viper is a really good hero against Enchantress early on because of the Viper Strike, not need to really auto attack to get a kill in most scenarios. So 4-1 advantage here for VP, and DM still in this top lane has the Urn. We've seen him go pipe so many times before. We'll see if he switches up at all.
Definitely a good pipe game against Warlock. Nyx, Viper, got him early magic damage. Well, TP mid, refill the bottle for GPK. They can outpush the wave and possibly smoke because they didn't show the supports. Let's see what happens, or they just run to the top lane.
Still no boots on Kingslayer. Well, it's 9 minutes in the game.
Don't run off.
Vision, but Zephyr's gonna run right into the LSA. Spike Carapace will do a blade. Save takes it for himself. And Nightfall, it will be the Radiant's first item. There's still hope for the Echo Saber. One day.
What about Echo Saber after Radiance?
Yeah, I think.
No, I think it's Radiance into Manta style feels really good.
Yeah,
a lot
also
of
very-
spells to dispel. Even though you have a built-in dispel, Warlock. Yeah, there we go. Kingslayer.
It's like
one more time.
somebody's
Once
gonna
these
roll.
phase moves came online for Nightfall, it's just
The
no
Dire
getting away
might
from
want
it
to
anymore,
mine
especially
the
with just a
top
+1 there.
Shut up, give them this.
Why do you think it is that we don't see Abby as a position 1 as often? Like
Dire's
obviously talked
top
about South
tower's
America
getting
being
beat down.
relatively common, but basically nowhere else. Is LSA. Okay. Probably gonna blade this time. Zephyr's gonna set it up with the Spike Carapace into the Impale. DM not quite in range for the X. Gonna take the Viper Strike instead, but now the LSA onto the Viper into the boat as well. Carl getting pressured big time. Save is there as well. Zephyr baited his teammate there, it looked like.
Save one more time. Good rotation. They also have a ward on the high ground, which allows them to play a bit more aggressive. And
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
defensive wards near the big camp tier 2 tower that T1 placed. This is the second time I see them place this. When they play against the Enchantress, they just want to see the rotation early on, possibly collapse on a mid tier 2 tower, wrap around.
Yeah, no, definitely a good start for VP. 23 Savage is going for the armlet into casual Sange, and we'll see what he turns that into.
Scotty. This is his build on a lifestealer.
Yeah, pretty solid overall. We actually, was it him that bought the shard really early on for the open wounds? He ends up getting tired. He's gonna insta
or Nightfall.
Yeah, I guess that's true. One of the two. GPK, they're gonna pop out. The Infest, no longer. Back to farming we go. But he's still doing relatively well.
There's a nice field play there. He took over the catapult and
It's
just ran
just
away
not
with it.
fair.
Dire might
Enchantress
wanna
seen this
mine the
movie
top tower.
multiple times when he play against
Dire
Viper. He can't
structure's
do
looking
much
fortified.
damage, too much magical damage coming up
Radiant's
from the
mid
hero.
tower's getting
What
banged
do you
up.
think, though, going back to that convo about position 1 Abby and why we don't see it? Do you think it has like major weaknesses?
I think we might see if this tournament, for example, went on for another week. It just becomes a meta, and then everyone starts either banning it because it's also possibly a flex pick, position 5 or position 1. So it's something that teams like start to do. If you remember, I think it was before DPC 1 started. Omni Knight plus Sven. Like Omni Knight, everyone was talking badly about the heroes. Suddenly, super popular, one of the best combos.
This was when
Multiple
Sven
teams.
was good, right?
Yeah, maybe during a Mega League time, I believe. It was a hot thing. And this time around, Lina
Gold for my
going
chest.
straight into BKB one more
Dire's
time.
top
I just
tower,
love this
you know
build
the drill.
compared to Boots of Travel.
Yeah.
Second item after finishing off the ult, because you have 2 defensive tools and you're
Dire's top
relying on the timing.
tower's
I've
getting
seen
beat
Lina's fall
down.
off so many times after getting 5-0.
Radiant's bottom tower
They
ain't a
get to
pretty
top of
sight
her, and
right
they
now.
have many.
And a lot of the games that you're talking about, is Nightfall might take some initiation here.
More
In the vicinity
fuel
with
for
the rest
my
of his team.
fire.
You see the
Top
blue
tower,
tower.
you know the drill.
Yeah, we'll get the Viper strike out, but there's the borrow time, and
Trouble
that,
brewing at
that's why
Radiant's
you don't
bottom
initiate on
tower.
Abaddon.
Not sure what the plan there was. I
No
guess
breaking
we
down the
forfeit
Radiant
hero,
structures like this.
Potentially like TP rotation, 100 gold
Radiant's
down the
bottom
drain.
tower's seen better days.
And he has a Sacred
You
Relic.
cannot kill him. So another 50 seconds without that ulti. We'll continue to farm up.
Trouble
Get the Radiance.
brewing at
That's a big
Radiant's
timing
bottom
for
tower.
them, and this was also a blink reveal.
The Dire might
Getting
want mine
scouted.
at top tower.
Zephyr scouting things out here. We have some TPs going on. Impale
Radiant's
only onto
bottom
one,
tower
so it
ain't
might
a
be
pretty sight
saved.
right now.
What a play.
Sacrificing himself, but the
There.
Torrent into the boat. Not really going to do much here.
That was nice. I'm just gonna save.
Radiant's bottom
Hits him
tower's seen
with the
better
creep,
days.
cancels the blink dagger, and then uses ensnare, completely shuts down initiation coming out from Axe. T1, they can't find any openings. They managed to kill Enchantress 2 times, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, back to this build from GTK, because we cast a couple of games as well where we see these Boots of Travel really early. And a lot of the time, it was on the team that was losing. So it feels like you're buying this kind of greedy item, and then you just
Yeah, I've been
even
very
more at that
vocal
point.
about it during the major. During this tournament, I've seen it lose too many times, especially in a game when you're 2, 3, 4k gold behind and you decide to invest half of your BKB into Boots of Travel. It's just not a thing. But to go back to his skill build, Dragon Slave, it's 4-1-4 build. It allows you to farm a lot more, allows you to farm the Ancients with this build. Radiance online.
3
Not
axes
yet.
and not an axe to
You can
be
see he has
found.
the Blade of Alacrity, so one single item at a time to get that Manta, I assume. I've never seen that before. That's kind of strange.
Manta style is
You're
good,
a
but you also
trusty
have a way of
mate.
dispelling things. I wouldn't mind if it's also S and Y.
Okay.
You want to have status resistance against Axe.
I'm just gonna buy that. So
Jug,
Straight to
he
the
always
bottom with
buys
you.
S and Y whenever he plays. Just lower the duration of that Berserker's Call, even Nyx Assassin Stun. Could
Yeah,
be-
because Borrowed Time does not take off Berserker's Call. It's one of the few things that Hard to Spell does not take off at all, right? So status resistance, kind of the only thing you can do. Other
yeah,
than
when the
losing
boss
Axe.
calls, you have to answer.
Yeah, that's true. Axe is definitely a boss indeed. Is Zephyr scouting things out on DM right here? Another hero that you can get a pretty easy spike carapace on if you're in the right area because of the Tidebringer. As usual, working on his Aghanim Scepter, but that's a long way away.
Managed to stack it.
Yeah, unfortunate. It's okay, DM. We weren't watching. But yeah, still going for that pipe. And are you, Shard, is there any reason not to go for Shard? Because he just seems to be so god tier with it. The tidal wave usage from
This
him
is
is
his
like
build.
none other.
Might just finish off like a casual medallion and then turn that into tidal wave. 20-minute mark. Shard, we've seen what he can do. One of the best Gunkas performance, as you mentioned, that we've seen in a really long time.
Yeah, Cuckoo is going for the typical. I mean, he's basically playing position 1 here, as seeing that replay. Very nice. But
Yeah, do it one more time just to show that he cannot stack with Torrent.
very sad. Very sadly. But Nightfall's Radiance is online. And typically when you are this here, I mean, I guess you could say for a lot, like the Wraith game is similar. You're very tanky, extremely hard to kill. And when you have the Radiance, that's basically go time. Do you think they're waiting for anything else, or is that pretty accurate?
I'm just gonna buy that.
BKB, maybe Abba is a bit too farmed at the moment, so you're not gonna have a BKB on Lina plus a Radiance, but I feel with Abba behind you and like the survivability that the Yule Scepter gives you, I think it's enough. We still have not seen a single rock, right?
Oh, finally, that is true. Chaotic Offering. Okay, you spoke it into existence, my friend, and it was not a good one. I'm just gonna throw it out. I want to throw it out
like
there.
instantly. He dropped the rock.
That is perfect timing, but we do get a glimpse into the Static Storm with the Static Storm holding him in, and Zephyr take a tumble. Spawning them out here, so now with the Radiance, I think they just bulldoze down lanes. Or at least attempt to. He did go for the Blade of Alacrity, by the way, so just keeping you guys on your toes here. I don't know why he did
Casual
one
blade,
item.
yeah.
Yeah, he just just had it queued up. I don't know why.
He's still thinking. I think
Dire's
he
mid tower won't last much longer.
Manta style to be able to outpush the waves and get rid of some extra spells, so you don't have to use a Photic Shield, or if he wants to get SNY. We'll see what he decides to go for. Picks up a Pupil's Gift.
Trouble
Not the best
brewing at
one. I
Radiant's
prefer
bottom
it
tower.
on either Intelligence or Agility Hero, so you get some extra
有你了呀。
strength.
So we do have to mention though, T1
Radiant's
side. So
bottom tower
Cuckoo
is
obviously
done
going for the
for.
Manta style shard build, but it's not really going to come online until
Dire's
the
top
20-minute mark. But
tower,
it seems to be
you know the drill.
close. Actually, no, he's going to be a little bit late on that. It might be like 23 minutes. Whitemon getting caught out here to start things out. Carl, behind the pressure.
Four in a row.
The break in the Nether Toxin really not going to do that much though. Glimpse back onto Cuckoo now. Going for him alone. Zephyr making some damage from save in the meantime, but he loses the Disruptor, so it's a 1-for-1 to start this fight. The GPK kind of stuck in the trees here. He's going to get called. Carl, nice heal from the infest into the chop before the borrow time actually comes through. GPK still with the BKB. Another kill for Cuckoo, so who cares about this shard build as long as he could chop kids down. That went through the borrow time. Very nicely done.
Yeah, also Disruptor didn't get any spells off. Viper just instantly goes on him, forces him to like use a Thunder Strike, which is nothing but does not allow him to use the full combo. GPK was also
Radiant's
running a bit
mid
low
tower's
on
coming
mana.
apart.
A great decision making once again from T1. This team just knows how to play from behind.
Yeah, they've definitely shown that.
Radiant's
from time to
mid
time.
tower could use a
Save,
hand.
going into his own triangle. Cuckoo's going to blink out to safety. That gave him so much gold, by the way. That's basically a full Manta. So I was saying he would get like 22, 23-minute Manta Shard. It's going to be more like a 20 to 21 minute at this stage.
He's super. 4,000 gold on top of Vanguard, full wand, and the Blink Dagger, level 13.
He is a beefy boy who picks up a Van Brace as well. Even beefier now. Very nice. Magic resist, extra strength. And we can see on the side of T1 still that 23 Savage is still working on that Scotty. Not super close to getting it, but he is still top net worth in farm by a decent margin.
Oh, look at Nightfall. He knows. He sees Nyx Assassin, turns off the Radiant, so there is no counterplay to that. They have a break mechanic, but they don't have any silences to follow it up on a Baton, because this is super deadly combo. Against him, you break him, and then he needs to click with his mouse or a keyboard borrowed time. If you silence him, then he cannot
Radiant
use
structures
his ulti.
must have been fortified.
I'm pretty sure he can click R.
Depends. Maybe you forgot. Sometimes
That's right. It happens once. Yeah, the first time is sometimes the time that you can get away with it, right?
Yes.
But then you learn.
Abba's talents are really good for a carry. You get 8 strength, you get 65 damage.
Zephyr can be glimpsed out. Nobody uses spike carapace, so the LSA into the right clicks are more than enough. Yeah, the 8 strength is nice with the Radiance build. A lot of times you see the 15 move speed because you go for this Yasha into something to help amplify that move speed overall, but
8 strength also means 8 damage.
this is true. It is a strength here after all, so is going for the Manta after all. And first Roche, and we didn't really mention this, but I mean, Abaddon is a hero.
Roche
Good against Roche, good against towers.
Very good.
And with GPK on the back line, look how fast he's attacking with the fiery soul stacks.
Rose just got stunned.
Does this surprise you that he gets the Aegis?
Not really. Because last
GPK does
fight,
have BKB now, I guess.
I think the damage that you get from Radiance is a bit too high, so you want to have Abba in the fight as much as possible, and he will be the front line. That's the big difference.
That's true.
Even
Radiant's
with LT,
bottom
he can
tower
still
seen
die.
better days.
That's what happened in the previous fight. GPK.
Radiant's mid
I
tower
love
ain't
this.
doing
I
so
think he
good.
has a great understanding of what he needs to build. I don't think he's going to go for Boots of Travel. I see MKB, which I really like. Just get more damage. Wants to be able to pump up some damage against Viper, against the Lifestealer, because right now they're very
Radiant's
limited
mid tower's
on
getting
the
banged
physical.
up.
They have, once again, nothing that goes through spell immunity.
Yeah, this is a right-click carry for the Aegis for sure. And you're right, because Abaddon's going to be in the front line hitting the towers.
Just kidding.
Lean
He
to the
bought
back
Boots
line.
of Travel.
Caster Curse, typical stuff. I mean, it was one of those things where he had the MKB queued up. He has 2k gold, like,
What about
I
Boots
guess.
of Travel?
We can go Boots of Travel, why not?
Lowering the cooldown of the TPs will deal with the split push, set things up on a side lane.
But either way, he
Stay
goes
positive.
this after the other items, which is fine for the most part, right?
It is. I think if they like lost a rush fight, T1 picks up Aegis, he might need to go for damage item this time around. They're staying ahead.
Radiant's top
in terms
tower's
of,
hurting.
like what they're doing with the first Aegis, but still T1 ahead in terms of gold. Cuckoo level 15, Manta style done.
Scotty now done as well for 23
Also on top
Savage.
of Shard. Cuckoo's just getting gold out of nowhere.
Yep, those Manta illusions are quite strong, even without that Shard. Just being able to push it down waves. Very strong indeed. As 3 minutes left on the Aegis for Nightfall, so we'll see if they want to get into a fight here. Oh, GPK is going to find somebody. Oh, but the big Chaos offering on the 3. The Static's on the ball. The Infest to try to heal. Odin's coming in. Gets the Manta off, but the LSA connects again. And Cuckoo will take a tumble. Big kill. VP. Now the glimpse back from 23 Savage. He's already using his rage. But gonna get silenced here if he's not careful. A nice big impale there from the Mixed Assassin. But they will be able to clean up 23 Savage. It's safe to get the kill of all heroes. Kingslayer in the corner. Carl pops a BKB, just gonna right click, contently getting that double kill for himself. So it's a 2 for 2 in the end as GPK also died. Other times as well. Yeah, glimpse back. That wasn't the glimpse, actually, that was the X. That was the X mark. So 3 for 2.
Still a very good trade for Virtus.pro. They managed to kill off Axe, as mentioned. 23 Savage just loves to use that Infest. I don't think I've seen him use Infest aggressively. It's more about that save. He tried to use it on Axe, but they already blew him up to half HP with the combo. Go plus Laguna Blade, couple of right clicks. They still get a return kill. Alina dies. When you play Abba as a carrier, you're going to be out of position, so you won't be able to save your teammates because you want to lock onto the target and just go straight killer. We've seen how effective the silence also is against the lifestealer when there's no rage. 4 right clicks, even though he does not have an Echo Saber.
This is true, but Manta style will help him get those procs. Now, keep that in mind that Satanic can be picked up at some point for the lifestealer, so you can just dispel the Curse of Avernus stack once it gets to that point. So Rage should, I mean, if he goes for that build, which I assume he will at some point if the game goes long enough.
And look at this.
It is even.
Yeah, this is gonna make you happy, Suns fan. Abaddon.
Oh! Yes, my boy! Hell yeah! What did we say, huh? Radiance Manta into Echo Saber. Yes! Love it. Nightfall, my new favorite player. I'm supposed to not be biased, though.
You know, they've been listening to stream. These guys are smart, you know. We should start paying more attention to professional casting.
I like this guy's Aghanim
why
list.
they're casting grand finals, right?
That's true. That's true. It's not because nobody was hired other than me. That was very convenient to have me in the area. All right, Carl's going to pop the BKB, so that takes off the glimpse. But with that, the smoke on the BKB, he's very comfortable knowing that that magic immunity is going to be down. GPK, like we talked about, is working on the MKB now, has a 7-second BKB online. And Scotty, looks like he will actually finish SNY for 23 Savage. I like the Halberd. Yeah, Halberd would have been pretty good, wouldn't it?
Halberd is nice against Abba, against Lina. Those right click, the miss chance.
Rage?
They got nothing. He can just TP out.
Yeah. Oh, he's actually just running around. Okay. Infest into Zephyr. Doesn't have his... Oh, he's just going to pop out. All right, you can die for me. Good effort.
That was nicely done. I mean, he could have just rage TP out. Aegis regeneration, kicking in. Abba hit level 18, 40 seconds cooldown on borrowed time.
All right, you want to guess the next items for Abby after that? It's got to be Basher, right?
They need something. Yeah,
you need
they
a BKB.
definitely need something to lock him down. Because with that hits plus Manta style, I mean, Basher doesn't work in Manta, obviously, but the double hit, something that the Pango is very
Guess
good
what's
at.
happening to Dire's bottom tower.
A replay, he uses
Can't
rage.
do nothing about Dire's structures right now.
Second. Oh, that maybe was too close to call.
Dire's bottom tower's getting the business.
So,
Either way, for an Uber.
Radiant's top tower's taking hits.
It's not the best
Dire's
Uber. You
bottom
don't go back
tower
to base
got
with your
blown
friend
to bits.
and nobody, you know, one person dies. Usually Uber rides, that's like
The
a 1-star,
Dire
I
best
would
do
say.
something about that
my
bottom
experience at least is
tower.
DM's gonna get
Radiant's
the X
top
mark. Ooh,
tower's in
Cuckoo
bad
jumped
shape.
in. Just a little too quick on the fingers there.
If my Uber driver doesn't say anything,
Radiant's
that's
top
5-star.
tower's
I
Straight
agree.
away.
Totally agree. Yes. And apparently, I'm not a 5-star rated customer, apparently. I don't talk at all. I feel like that should
Radiant's
be a good
top
thing for Uber.
tower's hurting.
it's a different story if you look at it from driver's perspective.
Just bored.
Yeah, they're bored. You don't talk, that means you're not getting a 5-star rating.
Man, I'm too tired to talk. It's too much to think about. Oh no, he didn't. Yeah, Ghost Saber changed his mind. I think he went for Basher. Oh, it's because he got the Mindbreaker, maybe. It's actually a really good item to have.
It's a great item.
Abby.
Instant silence into another silence. Sounds really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the initial silence just to get
it lasts long enough.
Silence.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Disruptor, yeah, working on Ag himself. I mean, this is one of the best Ags in the game. The fact that they've actually nerfed it time and time again, but they've kept them muted of the items. Speaking of which, yeah, Kingslayer's dead. BKB TP. Will connect on the Zephyr though, so they'll at least get a support trade. As you can see, Tidal Wave. I'm not sure how long DM has had that, but I'll keep an eye on it for here going forward.
He's done some amazing stuff in the game when he played Kunkka. I believe it was Tidal Wave into Winter's Curse. Like, you could push people who are not attacking the target into forcing it to attack, which is really nice.
It's just one of those, like, it's a cool shard because it fits the lore and the theme of the hero. And at the same time, it feels a bit memey, but
you did your best.
if you're really freaking good, you can make it look really good. And the opposite is true, of course. It's just like a Pudge, right? Like Jenkins plays 117 Pudge. Yeah, exactly.
It just comes back to that 117 every single time. You have to mention it.
Cuckoo is infested right now, so this will be an aggressive infest. Oh, DM might be the target here. They don't have vision though. Cuckoo, he's gonna find Lina with a big Yules just in time, but the Chaotic Eye is gonna follow. Get that Tidal Wave off with a choppity chop is enough for GPK to find his way to the grave. Does have buyback, will expend it. Nightfall still with that Radiance, and DM is just getting guided from afar. You can see the status from Kinetic Field just to try to separate this fight a bit. Look at Abaddon.
That's 4 in a row.
VP are crumbling. T1 lose their axe, but that's about it for now. But look at Save. He's doing a ton of damage with that end of his car. Drops from afar.
You did your best.
But now you have to worry about 23 Savage. Historically speaking, pretty good against the Enchantress. Pops the Rage to dispel that glimpse. And now the right clicks have cometh.
Somebody's
and another kill for 23
I
Savage.
best do something
Great
about that
fight
bottom
from
tower.
T1. Dieback GPK.
That was beautiful. Like what Cuckoo did there, first initiation on Lina, even
Radiant's
though he
mid tower's coming apart.
they still managed to kill him. We can see some damage there from the Fatal Bonds, and then he gets in the backline. Ball onto
Radiant's
3 people.
mid-tower
Here we
could use
go.
a hand.
1.5 seconds. Like, the damage is insane, even though it was lowered, like the percentage chance from 10 to 5, it's still a thick amount of damage.
The fact that the counter helix does not share a cooldown with the other counter helix, the brother, the twin, is the biggest part of it. You could literally have 0% extra chance and it would still be a god tier item in my opinion. This will set up the second rush of the game for T1. Shard is available. Axe already has it. Viper we've seen take it from time to time, but I would expect 23 Savage to get that open wounds, nostalgic feeling.
The old school ability. This is actually Dota 1 nice. Didn't have any abilities. His ability was magic immunity. That's it.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, maybe I'm not as old school as you, Mr. Lacoste. Maybe I just didn't play that much of him back in the day. I would play like the Troll Warlord.
Yeah, you
and
played those
Basher
skilled heroes.
And
you didn't play Raid King or Life Stealer. You were more like Gambler, I believe his name was.
Oh, I came after the Gambler, actually right after the Gambler, so didn't get to enjoy that one. I heard that Ricky had a ward though, Death Ward, and you can move around and not have to channel it. That sounds pretty broken. Maybe we can get a new hero with those abilities. Or just play ability draft, but nobody does that. As okay, glimpse onto Zephyr. Like, oh yeah. Does have the Agnum Scepter, so Burrow online. He was pretty far away from that, but after that last engagement.
Exactly, and they gave him cheese, so 50% damage reduction while he's underground. On top of cheese, gonna be very hard to kill.
Yeah, and T1 with a 10k net worth lead. You can see the Culling Blade threshold talent.
Yes, that's the big one. That's the one that I mentioned. So they have potentially a chance to just burst Abba if they can time it right. It's not easily doable. Threshold is 650. 600. My bad.
Radiant's bottom
Threshold.
tower
I think I
ain't
said
pretty sight
trackable.
right now.
That would have been pretty good as well. But you're right. It's one of the few things that will. Is it the only thing?
There
that'll go
goes
through that?
Radiant's
Oh,
bottom tower.
I guess so.
Finger, like any damage.
Oh, if you go before it goes off, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Radiant's
You can use
bottom
that
tower
wall
seen
borrowed
better
time, though.
days.
Yeah, that is
Dire's
correct.
top towers getting beat
23
down.
Savage pounding on the tier 3 tower. Has the siege here as well, but just going to reset. Actually going to TP top to try to find GPK. I know that his death would be pretty giant. Cuckoo. No, not going to find him.
It's a 5-man rotation. They don't get anything out of this. They have the 10k gold lead. BKB on Axe, 8-second cooldown. So do they have one on Viper for a long time. Natural BKB coming up from the Lifestealer, so they have a lot of bases covered. If somehow Kingslayer can manage to farm Aghanim Scepter, that could potentially be a big game changer. Problem is, there is no Philly. No Philosopher's Stone means you need to be out there. You need to be trying to farm it up with the Thunder Strike, which is not easy. Still 1,200 gold away from it, so it's going to take some time.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly, there's only 2 mutes in the game now, right? Just Doom and Disruptor Axe.
There's also a third mute
Radiant's
that
top
I
tower is
usually
in
use
bad
when I'm
shape.
playing
And the
on
scoreboard?
European servers. Yeah, the scoreboard
Gotcha.
mute.
Yeah, true. But DM now looking very strong on this Kunkka. Has a Solar Crest. We talked about the Shard already with the pipe. Extremely tanky. Actually going for a Vlad. So basically an all aura type. That's technically only one. Pipe is technically an aura, I guess. Yeah, very tanky indeed. But Kuku is the one just doing the damage in these fights. He's the initiator. He has the 8-second BKB still. Has the Hyper Stone. We'll see if it ends up being Moon Shard or maybe
I hope
AC.
it is the Moon Shard.
It's always fun to see it. And actually, he does have the ceremonial robe
Radiant's
as well.
mid towers
So
getting banged up.
status resistance lowered by 10%,
Which means long duration call.
absolutely.
Radiant's mid
That
towers
was a
in
really good
trouble.
idea. He actually is going for Moonshard. Awesome. That's gonna be one fast attacking axe for sure. One thing to note for the 23 Savage with his open wounds, it is quite easily dispellable as save. Ooh. Cuckoo
Where are you
runs
going?
right into him.
Nature
Battle Hunger's
attend
off.
us.
Doesn't
You
have
deserve
any damage
nothing.
really to kill him, so just trying to buy time.
Guess
and
what's
defend a TP
happening to
potentially.
Dire's bottom tower?
As
There is attack
reinforcements
speed.
here.
Let's see how it matches Enchantress.
Yeah,
Untouchable.
I don't know about that one. As Zephyr,
Dire's bottom tower gets forward.
yeah, CM is super dead. He finds the. Oh, all right. That's
Underestimate
showed up.
Axe.
Yeah.
It doesn't really count.
Yeah, we want to see a 1v1 battle. Axe with
Dire's
Moonshard
mid
versus
towers
Enchantress
having
level 3
technical
untouchable.
difficulties.
What about Tiny against Enchantress?
Oh, that's you don't have
That's
time
like
to watch
60-minute
that.
game until he hits it 3 times.
Yeah, pretty much. That gets into the late game by the time he right clicks once. There's the AC online. So, I mean, again, like Axe picking up an AC, not the craziest thing, but because your Lifestealer is already doing it, Moonshard, I mean, why not? You want a Moonshard, or you want the Hyperstone at least. Could gonna for like a Mjolnir, I guess, but
Radiant's top
Well,
tower is
Viper's
taking
going for
hits.
that as well. So.
And it also grants you 200 bonus night vision, which is really nice.
Yeah, that's true.
The Radiant got
Mentioned,
one
so you have
last
that
top tower.
Vision, maybe a better jump possibly. It's very hard for them to outpush.
Radiant's mid tower's
They
coming
have Ava
apart.
with Manta Style, so he can like do one lane,
Radiant's
but
gone
problem
and
is there's always
fortified
going to
their
be 2 lanes
structures.
push.
Them
Carl
Dire buildings are tough as nails
has
for
double
now.
damage for a couple more
Radiant's mid
seconds.
tower's
Clip
coming
pop.
apart.
Yeah, and this tier 3 tower is mega dead. Still a few more
Radiant's
seconds left on the death
mid-tower's
timers
getting
here for the
what
rest of
for?
VP.
Radiant's top
Keep in mind, Carl
tower's
doesn't have a
hurting.
shard, so they're not pushing as fast as they could be, but doing more than enough. There's the call from Cuckoo. Finds the carry. Abaddon gets off the Manta. BKB popped in the meantime. You can see Nightfall just not having that much presence in the fight here as Cuckoo gets glimpsed back with the BKB, but you see the heal from 23 Savage. Again, he is really good. You brought it up earlier at using that infest to keep his teammates healthy.
He's been really impressive at doing that. A Nightfall pops BKB straight away. It was 9-second BKB.
Yeah,
I don't think it was needed, but we could also see in that fight that Axe can go in and just dunk him potentially.
Yeah, and it feels like at this stage of the game, when you have this much farm and this tanky heroes on the side of T1, the Abaddon carry is just kind of falling off.
5 in a row.
See the bash come
How
online,
about
22
that?
Savage, able to get a pretty easy one onto Kingslayer, who's still working on that Aghanim Scepter. Not
Getting
that
very
far,
close.
though. Yeah, 500
If there's
away.
a fight which they think it could change the game, can potentially sell the wand, maybe even sell the tranquil.
Sell everything.
Sell everything.
Literally.
Buy a smoke and drop that static storm. Level 15. I think this is one of the best level 15s in the game when paired up with the Aghanims, +2 duration on the static storm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's really strong.
We got some level 25s.
I mean, if they can get that onto Lifestealer before Rage comes off, that is a potential kill. I say potential. It's all about positioning here. 9 plus BKB. TP out. No bash.
25 Viper. Nether Toxin cooldown. If that was Nether Toxin silences from the previous versions, that'd be really good against Abba. Break plus a silence. Can't use ulti at all.
Wonder why they got rid of that talent.
I don't know. It seemed perfectly balanced. AoE silence.
Well, it's... I mean, what's the cooldown on it now? It's without any... hey, again with the Spell Prism, are you kidding me? 2.5 seconds? Last time we saw this had the Spell Prism as well. So just the constant Nether Toxins, which, again, against Abaddon... I mean, that is actually something we didn't really talk about. We talked about the ult aspect of Abaddon, but his curse of Avernus disabled within Nether Toxin. And that's what makes the hero good.
Pretty much, yeah.
Chaos
offering cancels the TP for DM as he is just getting right from afar. Dunkity dunk for Cuckoo.
Yeah, DM, also known as Dunk Me, and Axe grants his wish right there.
I like that.
It's too much damage coming off from this offlane Axe. He's staying on top of the network for a very long time. Pretty much having the same amount as Lifestealer at this point, which is pretty impressive.
You know, I hate to say it, but when GPK picked up those boots of travel,
He just went downhill.
he's right in the middle of the pack in terms of net worth. Not what you want to see. He did get off to a really good start too. So it's, I mean, that dieback was pretty much the game, I feel like.
Also that fight when he cornered himself with a BKB, couldn't get out.
Yeah, that's true. If he had a Wind Waker, he could have gotten out though. That's a very common item these days, of course. He's going for the Eon Disc though.
Just invest 7,000 gold. Sounds good. I've seen Wind Waker winning off games.
Yeah.
You know, certain
Radiant's
situations,
top tower is in
against
bad
Faceless
shape.
Void, just using it to buy a bit more time. But there's this item called Nullifier, which deals well with it.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
I mean, what if you made Wind Waker non-dispellable?
It's a great idea, son.
Thank you. Thank you.
What about Global Silence not being dispelled?
Yeah, Silencer would then be good. He's pretty garbage right now. As we see the third roach being taken by T1. The shard is inside. So double chaotic offering, I assume, is what they'll go for here. And this is the fight for VP. This is the fight they absolutely have to win. They find Zephyr. It's going to take a while. Yeah, they have so can they even kill Zephyr? It's the question. Static Storm is there, but the Fest comes off with that BKB or the Rage already activated beforehand. Yeah, he's absolutely alive. Gets forced out to the low ground. And with that, Nightfall is just going to get completely surrounded. Cuckoo and company going to have no issue chopping them down.
Yeah, this might be it. They can't even kill Nyx Assassin with the full combo pretty much, and he also had a cheese. Eon Disc was there to save Burrow. Warlock uses the heal on him with the Holy Locket on top of it. It's just too much. Axe holding on to a refresher right now. He might handle it. Warlock, as you suggested.
Radiant's mid-range ain't looking so hot.
Potential here. Zephyr not burrowed, so he's not getting that damage reduction, but there he goes inside the ground where he belongs. Boom! GPK's gone. Just like that. Doesn't have buyback there. Will expend it. 1, 2, 3 buybacks. Yep, Nightfall. Getting pressured now by the Lifestealer. LSA's not going to connect. See the tidal wave come through as well. The impale from across the freaking map. Nightfall just trying to get out. Does not want...
Radiant's mid-range didn't make it.
Slow
Radiant's mid-range is out of the picture.
Insane. We see the gem on the ground right now, so that's going to be a Rax in the mid lane. So we see a reaction from a player.
Radiant lost one of them bottom towers.
This is why they turn it around. Nightfall with the Echo Saber. How can you counter this? That is the question, my friends. Impale from global range, that might have something to do with it, though.
Nature attend us.
I think. Nightfall gets off the aquatic shield. They have to give it the second round at the very least, but 20%. Right-clicking with that dual frenzy. Nightfall pops the BKB. You can see Whitemon gets off that chaotic offering with that refresher shard. Static Storm is applied, but really nobody of use inside here. They're just back in the fountain. The Infest again used to heal. GPK pops the BKB. Save.
They need some like glimpse or X-Mark off the tidal wave. Oh, they got the Viper thanks to the Echo Saber. The slow is huge. Look off. Don't forget the Echo Saber. Kingslayer gets out with just a sliver of HP. The Laguna Blade finally takes care of this. Okay. The LC is gonna not hit, but the Basher is there.
The Dire might want to mine the top tower.
Does have the Infest in 20 seconds. GPK gets down by Zephyr. Back in the ground he goes. Echo Saber going to work again with the Allegiance. They'll find another support here. But double buyback, making a triple buyback by T1. 23 Savages left all alone right now. The Echo Saber, it's working. But a great call from Minnesota into the jumpity chop. 23 Savage gets yet another kill. He is healing up to a high degree. GG's called the Echo Saber. Maybe if it was picked up 20 minutes ago, would have been enough. Look at that. Game 5, man. Yeah. This is what we expected, and this is what we were going to get. Game number 5. These two teams, they've been amazing throughout this whole tournament, and T1 manages to, win this 4th game with the pretty convincingly, I would say, a very slow and methodical game. One more time, it's just they choked them out. They can't really farm, get the first, second, third Roche and go for the ending. Boots of Travel, yes or no, Fan? I'm gonna say no, but he did get it after a couple of the big items.
He
the
went for a
Yules,
BKB,
the BKB.
so completely fine. But I know what makes you happy. That Echo Saber's 6th item on Abaddon.
You know what? I'm gonna have to give Nightfall the MVP.